Well, this season I have some competition when it comes to blogging. I get around to Paschke once in a while, but Andrew Bogut has andrewbogut.com, and you're pretty prolific as a blogger, aren't you?
Yeah, getting there, still learning from the best, I guess, but it's just something to get out there and, take my time up on the road, mainly.
What was the idea behind this? Why did you undertake this process?
Basically just to give the fans a look at, an NBA player or, someone who's in the limelight and give them the human feel. I mean, we're normal people too, and my daily activities involve the same thing a lot of other people do. Especially the fans back home don't really get to see much exposure of the NBA off the floor on team flights, hotels and all that, and I thought it'd be good to give them an inside look.
Now, I'm a little upset because you're pretty good at this. You have a feel for this. Where does that come from?
I'm not sure. I think I can just, spin out all kinds of stories, and I got a good memory for picking that kind of stuff up. But still learning, and eventually it'll be a video log as well. I like to get going as well, and pen my thoughts down that way as well.
Now, you've talked about your dogs getting into fights. You've talked about movies you see. You talk about the NBL in Australia. You talk about a lot of different things. What are your favorite subjects?
A bit of everything. Just sometimes I just like talking about a newspaper article I read or opinion I have on things. It's kind of cool because I can get my opinion across on certain issues, whether they be political or environmental, whatever they are, and that's kind of a cool thing to have. It's a great tool to have to get your voice heard. I usually like to talk about anything. I mean, the story I pick up, the Joe Alexander one was pretty funny. When he went to the wrong room in his hotel room, just stuff like that, little tidbits that fans don't really get to hear about.
I noticed that you also like to talk about the history of the NBA. I remember Drazen Petrovic being a subject, things like that. You're interested in that type of thing too, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when we go on the road, I pick things up. I mean, you go to the Miami Arena and there's a Jordan jersey retired. That was a good topic to talk about. Obviously, Drazen Petrovic was one of my idols, so I ran into an article involving him, which was pretty cool. So I linked that to my site. Just like to bring issues that are close to my heart as well, and they're very, very close to my heart.
Now, early in the season, we changed charter airplanes. And I held off on breaking that story because I didn't know if I was supposed to do that. Now, what kind of restrictions are you under? Because you told everybody in the world that we had changed planes.
There's no real restrictions. I mean, obviously, there's some stuff, that we talk about in the locker room. I mean, game plan and that type of stuff that you kind of keep in-house. But other than that, everything's game. I try to be the first one to get it out there. And, we had a pretty good laugh about that, so that was cool.
What kind of reaction have you had from fans in Australia and around the world to the blog?
Well, it's been great. I mean, I think, most of the fans are from Milwaukee or Australia. So I think it's 50-50 at the moment. A lot of fans getting a lot of good pub. A lot of people are liking what I'm doing. And it's got a lot of good exposure so far. And hopefully, eventually I'll start my foundation probably within the next couple of months and tie that into my website. And just try to promote my name a little bit more down there and give people, it's kind of hard for Australians to get a feel for what's going on because I'm so far away from home. I'm so far away. There's not that much TV exposure. They don't see me every day like they would an athlete in Australia. So the thought process was, give them something that a way to follow me that isn't the generic go on NBA.com type thing.
I remember another blog, you were watching Bucks television, maybe for the first time since you're always playing. Now you have a chance to watch. Do I have to worry about being critiqued as an announcer?
A little bit. Maybe we'll get a blog out there one day. But yeah, it's been, obviously you never want to be hurt, but it's opened up a lot of different avenues for me. I saw things that I've never seen while I was playing. Obviously, you get to listen to yourself and Johnny Mack going at it on TV, so that's always cool, and see different thoughts of people on different subjects.
Well, you could turn us into household names in Australia. That would be very nice.
Would be, yeah. I mean, it works both ways, I guess.
It does. Give us your best plug for your website.
Best plug?
Yeah. How do people get to it?
andrewbogut.net.au.
.net.au,
yeah,
Australia.
Yep.
.net.au, not .com.
Yeah, .com was taken. I think someone was trying to sell that back to me. Couldn't get in contact with the guy that had that domain, so I went my own way. Basically, you'll see this when you enter the site. The only difference is for the blog, you got to register. So we try to keep it clean, and obviously, sometimes there's some different natures if people aren't registered, so we try to keep it pretty clean out there with the comments and so on. So you register, you get full access to the site, you get videos, pictures, obviously the blog. Soon there'll be video logs of life on the road and so on, and off-season stuff. and there's a history about, you know, where I grew up in Australia, my basketball career, you know, in Australia with the national team with the University of Utah and the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's a pretty cool feel. I mean, if you're a young kid doing a school project, you got all the information you want right there.
Check it out, andrewbogut.net.au. It's very, very good.